Are you tired of feeling like your money just disappears every month and you have absolutely no idea where it went? We're going to show you how to find and plug those money leaks.
In case you don't know us, I'm Larry.
I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where practical frugality meets real life.
This is the time of the year where we review, we streamline our finances, we do a really deep dive. And we start looking at things that we may be paying for. We're not really using them. We've never used them. We don't know that we were even paying for them. All kinds of things happen when you start looking at where your money is going. There are 15 different areas where you may be wasting money every single month. We'll talk about those areas and give you some alternatives along the way.
Number one is unused subscriptions. This would be like anything that you might have online. Maybe you're subscribed to a service that costs a little bit of money. Maybe you have a gym that you belong to and you pay a monthly fee for that. Or maybe it's just a phone app that you pay for. But whatever you pay for, if you're not using it, that's just money slipping through your fingers.
It might also be a subscription you're paying for that you're just not getting the most out of. So it offers some benefits that you've never, ever used. Once again, what goes back to the gym membership, when was the last time you darkened the door of that gym? I mean, like, for real. And we're not saying if you have a gym membership, you use it 3-4 times a week. My sister does. Her membership to her gym worth every single penny. These are areas where you're paying for something and you're just not really utilizing. Maybe it's time to just cut the cord, cut the strings and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. You're going to look for alternatives. The other thing you need to do is make sure you know what you're paying for. There was a recent study, 50%, that's 50, 1 in every 2 Americans cannot list every single monthly expense membership type thing that they are paying for. Make sure you make a complete list, do a membership and subscription audit. We do it twice a year just to double check. Am I spending money and then not using the benefits?
It's amazing how much money you can save once you locate those unused subscriptions. The second category that is very important to take a look at is extended warranties. Before you even put an extended warranty on an item, make sure that that item warrants having that extended warranty. If it's just an item that doesn't cost a lot of money, you might be paying more in extended warranties than it's really worth them having. I don't even subscribe to extended warranties, except one time we did on a vehicle that we bought, and that turned out to be a good thing because major things happened to that vehicle within that extended warranty period.
But here's something to consider. Look, first of all, there's a huge difference between a warranty on an item that is $20. Yes, I've seen them. You're buying something you're checking out is like $20, $30. Would you like an extended warranty? I'm like, no, I think not. You got to look at how long that thing is going to last you.
Or how long you're going to need it.
Yeah. And there's a huge difference between $20 item and a $20,000 item like an automobile.
Yeah.
You need to take that into consideration. The other thing that you want to take into consideration is there a period of time under which you can decide, yes, I'm going to get the warranty or no, I'm not. That's part of the reason they sell them. That's part of the way they sell them is they say, nope, you got to decide right now. You sign on the dotted line or you don't, and you have no time to read through that myriad of paperwork. But I am the person who sits in the office and I'm reading each page of the document. Salesman's going away. He's getting coffee. He might even going away for lunch. But in the amount of time it takes me to read through the papers, because I always want to know what I'm paying for.
Tech upgrades can cost a lot of money, and they may not really be very beneficial. If it's just a little tech upgrade to your phone, maybe your phone will take a few more pictures or something will happen, a little higher resolution. It might be a real upgrade, but it may not be anything that you're really looking for. So look very carefully before you agree to do any tech upgrade.
Look used. Backmarket.com. One of the questions that we get asked most frequently, that website is where we go for all of our used tech.
Yeah.
Comes with a 1-year warranty on everything that they sell. We've been super happy with everything we have ever purchased from Back Market. We've bought phones, computers, all sorts of things from backmarket.com. Look on the used market. Can you get what you want and maybe do like a mini upgrade? So you're going to go from an iPhone 8 to a 10 or an 11 or a 12. But the difference between going from a 13 to a 14 just really, it doesn't amount to much. And unless it's 2 or 3 models old, you're going to pay just a little bit less than you would have for retail.
Rental car insurance is another area to take a really close look at if you have to rent a car. Do you really need that, or does your own car insurance cover a rental car? That's something you can question your own insurance company and ask them, is it covered while I drive this car from a rental company?
Now, some of these tips are new to you, or they're striking a chord with you because your goal in life right now is to really reduce your expenses. We got a free guide for you. It's 10 ways to radically reduce your expenses. It's 10 ways that we used when we were saving for great big financial goals on a low income. Walk you through it step by step, give you checklists. It's free. The link to the guide will be in the description of the video.
Another category would be name brand over generics. Now, name brand products are usually high quality. They're usually very consistent in what they're giving you, and they're very reliable. So we kind of tend to go with name brand if we're used to a particular brand. But I would say try the generic brand that's at the store for the one that you normally buy the name brand for and see how it is. Most of the generics are actually made on the same production line, so you're actually getting the same quality for a much lesser price.
How much less, you might ask? Statistically, 30 to 40% less. Look, what's the worst case scenario? Buy one. We would say that. Let's say you see the store brand or the generic product on the shelf and you're like, I'm going to try it. Just buy one. That's the sum total of what you're risking is one try. Yeah. And then if you like it, great. You can go back and buy more. They're always going to be there. If you don't like it, you can always switch back to the name brand if you want. But sure. 9 times out of 10, with a very few exceptions, we have found that the store brand for us works just as well as the name brand.
Number 6, we touched on just a little bit earlier, and that's gym memberships. Are you getting the good out of your gym membership, or do you have it as just kind of a guilt thing that you're keeping it because it makes you look good because you belong to a gym? If you're not really using it, now is the time to cut that. But find some ways in order to get the same amount of exercise. There's a lot of online YouTube videos. Hope does one for running when she can't go outside and take a walk. She does one that she actually jogs in place in the living room and gets a good amount of exercise. I like to get my exercise on my bike. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. It doesn't cost a gym membership to do it. So look at your gym membership very carefully.
Now, I want to just morph this just a little bit because Larry mentioned online things. This is also what we mean when we talk about online memberships. We buy the memberships to the workout videos, to clubs that will help us stay on track with losing weight or getting fit or something like that. And we almost guilt ourselves into staying. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll use it next month. Or I don't want to disappoint. I really like the host. I like the person that is in charge of this membership. I don't want to disappoint them, so I'm going to keep spending my money. You got to determine whether it's working for you or not working for you, and whether you're using it or not using it, and set all the rest of those criteria aside for a minute to decide, are you keeping it or is it going?
Number 7 is convenience fees. Now, we all like to use our ATM, right? Maybe sometimes it's convenient to use an ATM that's not our own bank or credit union. It's not the brand that we have ours actually at, and that can cost you a hefty convenience fees. There might be some little minor convenience fees built in to your bank or credit union's fees for using your ATM. Take a very close look and make sure you're not paying extra for using this service.
Convenience fee is another example. And we've used this a lot, and we've had a lot of viewers say, I did it, and you're right, my bill dropped. If you are paying a bill monthly that could be paid yearly, oftentimes if you will switch to yearly as opposed to monthly, that bill will drop sometimes up to 20%. And that is, in essence, a convenience fee for being a monthly member instead of a yearly member.
You might be overpaying for internet, cable, or phone. Now, these are all services that we use, especially internet and phone. I don't think you can get along in life without those two services anymore. It's very important, though, that you do some work and try to get the most reasonable service to connect to that's offering you a really good plan so that you're not overpaying. And cable, I don't think cable is a really good thing to get these days because there's so many other services out there online that are free. You might have to look through some ads while you're watching the programs. We watch Tubi TV right now, and we have to watch through the ads. I just turn the audio off, and we just do other things while the ad's on, and then when the show comes back on, we get back to watching it, and that seems to work just fine for us. Saves us a lot of money.
This is another one of those things where we feel like we don't want to call, we don't bother customer service, we don't want to say, hey, I've been a long-time customer, I've been with you for 5 years, is there a lower price plan? Believe me, you will not be the first person who has ever called and asked that customer service agent that exact question. And a lot of times they have something that is designed and built for retention.
Yeah.
So, and if you don't get the answer you want, if they say, well, no, this is what it is and there's nothing less, ask to be transferred to their customer retention department, because sometimes that's the department you need to be talking to. Make sure you're talking to a person who can make the decision to offer you a different plan, because if you're not, then that's not helping you at all. Make sure you're in the right department that can give you a better deal.
I have a question for you. Have you ever spent money on an impulse purchase? Have you ever just gone online, you look at Amazon, something looks really good to you and you go, yeah, I want that. And you hadn't even really thought about that item. You hadn't really thought about getting it. It's not on your list of things that you're looking for. It's just an impulse thing that you see at the moment. And we are hit over the top with anything that can possibly get us to do an impulse buy when we're online. If you're on Facebook, you got all kinds of ads rolling through there. If you're on YouTube, you got ads rolling through every so often on every YouTube video. So watch the impulse buy. Make sure you've planned to make that purchase and you have the money in your budget to do so.
Here's another place that you might be spending more than you need to spend or wasting money on something, and that is plans and services that you've just simply outgrown. They don't do what you need them to do any longer. They did. When you signed up. They were fantastic. They were a perfect fit. But maybe you're way past that. Maybe your beginning yoga is now advanced yoga. Maybe you joined a club when you had younger kids and your kids are in junior high and they're like, Mom, I don't like these craft kits that are coming every month. And they're not doing them. They're just piling up somewhere. Make sure that you're looking at something and say, is it serving the purpose that it was when I purchased the plan or purchased the service?
Right.
If it's not, it might be time to get rid of it.
Drive-through takeout, or when you'd have takeout delivery right to your home. It's nice sometimes, and I'll admit, we've done this when we're tired, we've worked hard all week, it's Friday, and Friday night is just fun to have one meal. We don't have to do the dishes, we don't have to prepare it, it's delivered to our house, or maybe we just go pick it up and we eat it. We actually did this last night, but we have a plan in place so that we're not spending money that we really don't have to do it. What is that service called?
Too good
to go. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we are seriously
We're
enamored with this.
Yes.
There's a Mexican place that is like 2 miles from our house.
Really good
for
food.
$5. We can get one of the surprise bags. It's enough for two of us. Our son was home last night, so we got 2 of the surprise bags, $10, and it was enough to feed all 3 of us.
Yeah.
It's a great way to get restaurant food for up to 75% less than you would pay retail. We'll make sure, guys, we love this service so much. We're going to leave a link to it, yes, in the description of the video.
If it's just Hope and I, we'll only buy one bag at $5. Imagine going out to eat for only $5. That's a good deal. It's really worth it.
Waste of money number 12 is buying in bulk. That's not the waste of money. It's buying in bulk and then you have to throw it out because it goes bad or you don't use it in enough time. The trick to buying in bulk, first of all, you got to do the math, because sometimes buying in bulk it's worth it and sometimes it's really not. You can get it less expensively in smaller portions on sale with coupons, discounts, things like that. Make sure you're doing the math. We've bought in bulk for years. But when we were much younger and had much younger kids, only had 1 or 2 kids, we would find 3 or 4, sometimes 5 families in the area that wanted that fantastic deal that we just got on 50 pounds of rolled oats. And it took like, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe for each of those families to come by. I would repackage things in plastic bags, hand them the plastic bag. They handed me their share of the money, and it worked fantastic. I guess what we're saying is there are ways around difficulties in spending money that you're wasting to make sure that you're able to still get the deal, but you're no longer wasting money. You've got to think outside the box, or in this case, outside the bag.
Auto-renewing memberships. Now, those are very convenient. That means you don't have to pay attention. Once it's due, it'll automatically renew from your savings account because you have that information in that membership. But if you forget you don't have it anymore, you haven't been using it, and it keeps auto-renewing, then you're paying for something that you're not using. So check and make sure on anything that you set up for auto-renew that you're actually using it.
This happens a lot when it only renews once a year.
Yeah.
Because people tend to look, when they're trying to find these auto-renew things, they think in terms of monthly, but maybe not quarterly or bi-yearly or yearly. So you really need to sometimes dig a little bit more to make sure that you're not leaving some things hanging out that all of a sudden in 30 days it's going to renew for the entire next year, and it's a couple $100 and you're like, oh shoot, I totally forgot that was going to renew.
Late fees can really sneak up on us and attack our budget pretty badly. And this is a case where maybe we're not paying real close attention to when a bill is due and the bill becomes past due, and then you have to pay 12% more or 20% more than what the original bill was. So watch your late fees. Make a schedule on your calendar or on your phone that you know exactly when to pay it, or set it up as an auto pay feature where it automatically pays out of your account.
And here's something else that a lot of people don't realize. If it's the first time you have ever been late on that specific bill, contact that agency or organization and say, look, I'm really sorry. It was 5 days late. My bad. Fall on your own sword and say, yep, it was my fault, my mistake. But I've never been late before. I've been a customer for 5 years. Is there any way you can just waive those late fees for me? Sometimes they will, and it's worth the 10-minute phone call to check.
Credit card interest can really hit you hard. And credit card interest today is pretty high. It can be anywhere from 12 to 25% of what the cost of the item was. So watch your credit cards and make sure that you're paying them on time.
Average credit card bill, the interest rate right now is a little over 21%. And those are current statistics. I just looked them up for October of 2025.
Okay.
And that's the average. And granted, there are some that are a lot lower. And believe it or not, there are some that are higher.
Yeah.
So we're going to use 21% for our example. You have $2,000 on that credit card. You make the minimum payment. Now, a lot of times the minimum payment is 2% of that bill. 2% of $2,000 is going to be around $40. That's your minimum payment. How long do you think, I want to see it in the comment section. You're going to tell me, if you are paying the minimum payment, $40 a month on that $2,000 credit card bill, how long is it going to take you with minimum payments to pay it off in full? Because remember, as you're paying it off, you're still accruing interest. So that's going to take you more time than you think it will. 10 years, that's the answer. Do you know the amount of interest you're going to pay at 21% interest in that 10 years? $2,700. In fact, a little bit over that.
Oh my gosh.
So you're paying the $2,000 plus $2,700 additional dollars over a period of 10 years. When you are making the minimum payments, you're inadvertently thinking you're doing the right thing, which you are doing the right thing to make those minimum payments. But anytime you can step it up and shorten the length of that credit card bill, you are doing yourself a huge, and I do mean huge, favor to pay it off early. Now, if you're starting to look at those monthly expenses just a little bit differently now than you were, say, 15 minutes ago, here's something else we want you to consider. And this is a term that we all use. What constitutes a necessity? What is something that you absolutely must have in your life? Frugal people, by and large, do not buy into a lot of necessities that other people purchase. What are some of those necessities that we personally have decided we're not going to purchase? We have a whole list of them. That video is right over there. Go take a look at it next.